Why, yes, it is that time to start putting up your Halloween decorations. Of course, I never necessarily take mine down. Hey, we're here to talk about some stuff.
It's Drewski McGillicuddy's 10 horror movies to show the kids.
Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and no, I'm not wearing mascara, okay? I work at a haunted house, and, I couldn't get all my makeup off. You rub dial soap in your fucking eyes. Oh, hopefully kids aren't watching this, because this is top 10 movies to show your kids during the Halloween season. Suggested by my good buddy Steve Durr. We went to high school, junior high, all that stuff together. He's a very talented musician. Look him up, Steve Durr. That's Steve Durr, like as in Durr. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, before we get started with the list, I do have two honorable mentions, sort of. The one is an honorable mention because technically it's a Christmas movie and I don't watch it around Halloween. I watch it around Christmas. And obviously, that is Gremlins. Gremlins is not necessarily a kid's movie. I mean, it's pretty violent, but so are a lot of these movies. But just don't be such an overbearing parent and let your kids watch some stuff, man. I watched it. I turned out fine. Look at me. I'm a successful YouTuber. I got 400 subscribers. Anyway, the other movie, this should go without saying. Everybody should have already shown this movie to their kids when they were born. And I just picked it up recently on Steelbook, and that's Hocus Pocus. This is already technically a kid's movie, and everybody should already know about this movie, so I shouldn't have to mention it. But I mentioned it because I wanted to honor it. That's why it's called an honorable mention. Alright, let's get on with the list of top 10 movies, because I was only going to do 5, but I had to talk about all these a little bit. So we're going to do 10. So starting with number 10, and I put this at number 10 on purpose just to piss everybody off. Plus, there's a tit or two. There's a tit or two. So, if you've seen the movie, you should know when the tit or two pops up, and you can just cover your kids' eyes. Okay? That's what my mom did when I watched Terror Tunes or Killer Tunes, whatever it was, where it's the sorority house and they're all running around naked and there's cartoon characters killing them. Yeah, I had to watch the whole movie like this. So I've heard the movie, never seen it. But anyway, number 10... I'm sorry about rambling. Number 10 is John Carpenter's Halloween. Like I said, there's 1 or 2 teats in this movie. Just cover your kid's eye. Other than that, there's not really any blood. This movie's more atmosphere than anything, and I'll explore that more next week when I start my Halloween series review. Okay, so as of right now, that's number 10 on movies you should show your children this Halloween season. Now, this one, people are gonna be like, "How are you gonna put the? That's crazy. That movie's messed up." Well, that's why it's number 9. Okay, I'm very aware that this could traumatize a child. It kind of, it freaked me out a little bit. It didn't scare me, but the ending had me freaked out a little bit. And that's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. I cannot stress that enough. Show them the original, because there's barely any blood in this movie. Everything's implied for the most part, but just the acting performances and the fact that they were really going through hell filming this dinner scene, filming this ending. They were all losing their minds in real life. Made this movie so... what do you call it? What's that word I'm looking for?
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, good. Anyway, it's so... real. It's real because it was really happening pretty much. It was 110 degrees. They were tired. They smelled. Yeah, it made it authentic. All right, so number 9 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, okay? There might be some scenes you want to cover their eye because it seems like it's graphic, but it's not. They don't really show anything. I mean, when he saws Franklin, they don't even show it. So, calm down. Just show your kids Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All right, moving on. One of my favorites, probably is my favorite, and I don't necessarily think you have to show them all of them, but at least show them the first one, and that's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. Now there is maybe a teat. It's a side boob. There's definitely a side boob. And there's definitely some stuff in this that, is bloody. This is more for your, 10-year-olds. But if they're 7 to 10, they can watch A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's nothing too terrible. I watched it. I had all of these by the time I was 10. So, yeah. Go ahead and show your child A Nightmare on Elm Street. And if they have bad dreams, good. It builds character, okay? We all have bad dreams. Even people that don't watch scary movies have bad dreams. So, that's saying something right there. All right, moving on to number 7. Another Wes Craven classic. And that's Scream. Now, was there a boob in this one? If there's boobs in these movies, all you gotta do is cover your kids' eyes. Or just let them see the fucking boobs.
I don't think there was a boob in that.
Who gives a shit, By the time I was 10, I knew where my dad hid his dirty magazines. I had seen all the boobs. Okay? And look at me, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. But Scream, yeah, this is the classic. Not only is it a scary movie, well, it's not really a scary, it's kind of more suspenseful. But, for your first time watch, definitely, gonna entertain the kids. And it'll drop some horror knowledge on them. They'll learn a little bit about horror and, the do's and don'ts of life. Because that's all horror movies are. They're the do's and don'ts of life. How to survive, how to live longer. Especially Friday the 13th. But Friday the 13th didn't make this list because there's way too many boobs and some of the kills are way too graphic, even though they're kind of way too graphic in Nightmare on Elm Street. But, hey, if you want to show your kids Friday the 13th, I don't care. It just didn't make the list because I'm tired of talking about it. I just did the series review. Anyway, so Scream. You can show that to your kids because they'll like it. All right, number 6. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. This is where, these are in serious rotation in my household. Hell, some of them not even during Halloween. I'll just watch these movies several times a year because I love them so much. So this should have been higher on the list. This probably should have been number 1, honestly. And that's Trick or Treat. Not to be confused with Trick or Treat that I just picked up the other day. Trick or Treat. And yeah, I've been waiting on the sequel forever. But it's okay. I could still watch this movie every year. As a matter of fact, this is probably better to watch on Halloween than Halloween. Or you can watch them both on Halloween. There's also... Never mind, don't worry about that. So yeah, Trick or Treat. It's a little violent, but you know what? Stop raising these soft-ass kids, coming into my haunted house telling me I can't make fun of people's mullets. Bullshit. Anyway, number 5. This should have been number 1, honestly. And that's Ernest Scared Stupid. Oh my God. If your kids haven't seen this already, that's shame on you as a parent. Every kid in America should have already seen every Ernest movie by the time they were 5. Multiple times, because Ernest is the best. That's why I should have just put him at number 1. But, I have a biased opinion on my number 1 pick. Okay? But yeah, Ernest Scared Stupid. Ernest versus Trolls. It's great. And he's got to find the mother's Miak. This movie's hilarious. It's fun for the whole family. Grandma, even Grandma, you can show Grandma this movie and she'll like it.
And she'll remember Ernest.
And she'll remember Ernest from his Trout Dairy commercials and his 7-Up commercials, which I have all of them on DVD because I am a huge Ernest fan.
One of these. The secretary sometimes loves you.
If she loved me, she'd get me the talking Ernest doll. Anyway, why are you walking around making noise? Number 4, I'm cheating here. I'm cheating, okay? Because this is technically a 10 list. But this, you can pick any one of these and show them to your children. As a matter of fact, I demand that you show these to your children while they're young. While they're young and they still have an imagination and they're innocent at heart. And that's the Universal monster movies. All of them. Every single one. Because there's so many times these days I see people comment talking about how black and white movies are stupid. No, you're fucking stupid. And it's probably because your fucking parents didn't teach you right. Sorry for all the cursing. I don't know if the kids are watching, but yeah. Don't deny your children the magic that is the Universal monsters. All right? They are some of the best horror films ever put to screen, and in my opinion, they still hold up. You know, they still hold up. I watch them as much as possible. I love them, and that's a lie. I still need to watch them all on Blu-ray. I haven't watched them in a couple years, but yeah, I've seen them all, and I love them all. Except for maybe Dracula, it's kind of boring. But, you know, it's still got that mood and whatnot. All right, so we're going to move on to the number 3 spot. This is where these are my favorite horror films, probably of all time. Number 3, you probably heard me talk about it in the movies that scared me. Because I hope this scares your children. It's nothing too bad. It's probably PG for all I know. Or it's a soft PG-13. And that is The Gate from 1987, the greatest year in horror history. Okay, The Gate. Young Stephen Dorff. A lot of you might remember Stephen Dorff from Blade. Don't show that to your kids, because that's definitely too bloody, and they say the F word way too much. Even more than I do. Probably. I don't know. But The Gate. These kids accidentally play this record backwards, and it opens up the gates of hell in their backyard, and these little demons come out, and they're creepy little demons, and there's this big demon, and then there's this dead guy coming through the walls. I mean, The Gate, it's a masterful film. I love it. Every single solitary scene in this movie, I love it. Spoiler alert for when I review it. All right. And number 2 is the exact same thing, but it's number 2 because it's just a little bit better. And I believe it also came out in 1987, the greatest year ever. And that is the Monster Squad. Yeah. See, I grew up on the Universal Monsters, and then I saw this movie, and this was a staple. This is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. You got Forrest Gump, you got Dawn of the Dead, there's Monster Squad. Okay? I'll watch this movie all day, every day. I don't care. The music, the characters. I love everybody in this movie. I love everything about this movie. You should have already shown your kids the Monster Squad. For one thing, it's free on Prime. For another thing, it was on Netflix for the longest time. And, you know, it's just a great movie. So show it to your kids this Halloween season. All right, number 1. I'm cheating again. Because there's 3 movies in particular that you can show them. And I would show them, you know, try to make it a marathon. And that, my friends, did you see this coming? Did you see it coming? Let me know in the comments section if you saw this coming. That's the Dead trilogy from George A. Romero. Oh my God. Like, what a perfect time to watch this is when it starts getting dark early. You can watch this at 6 o'clock and it's dark out already. Well, is it dark out already? No. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even though these movies are perfect for all year round, they're also perfect for the Halloween season. And these are some of the first horror movies. Actually, I didn't see Dawn of the Dead till I was probably 14. But I was definitely in 1st or 2nd grade when I first saw Night of the Living Dead, and it hooked me. It hooked me real good. There's nothing else I can say other than just please go out and find these movies. I just found a 3rd copy of Dawn of the Dead at a yard sale. I'm sure if you look hard enough you can find, because I know Dawn of the Dead is so hard to find, but guess what? It's so easy to find too, because it's free on YouTube. If you're not a video quality snob
like you,
like me, it's not my fault. I learned it from watching Cody Leach. Now I gotta have everything in 4K. I'm gonna go out and buy me a 4K TV. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about, go make your kids watch the Dead trilogy. Especially Night of the Living Dead. Because like I said, you gotta show them the black and white ones when they're young and they still have an imagination. Because once they see them as teenagers, most teenagers are stupid. I'm sorry. It's just a thing that's a fact. Like, you should see these dumbasses that come through the haunted house thinking they're cool. You're not. Okay? You're embarrassing yourself and whatnot. Anyway, I'm sorry. Hopefully I didn't ramble on for too long. We'll see you. We'll see you next time. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what movies you like to watch or like to show your children during the Halloween season down below in the comments section. That way, if Steve watches the video, he could get some other suggestions from you guys. Because this is all about sharing and caring about horror films. Because, you know, they make Halloween just a little bit better.